Thank you for joining the baddest YouTube channel in the world. This is Rod OG live from the OG community. How we doing today, fam? Well, I'm having a wonderful day. For those stopping through, make sure you hit that subscribe button, then hit that bell notification so these videos could come right to you. And for my day one members in the OG community, let's not forget to hit that like button, hit that hype button so we can push these videos through the algorithm. Now, without much ado, let's get into it.
They told people it was a water treatment plant, but inside, it was one of the darkest places in human history. During World War II, Japan built a secret facility in China called Unit 731. To the outside world, it looked harmless, but inside, prisoners were used for experiments no one should ever experience. Doctors performed surgeries on living people without anesthesia, just to study how diseases spread inside the body. Others were deliberately infected with plague, cholera, and anthrax. Some were exposed to extreme cold, their bodies frozen, just to study frostbite. These weren't rumors. These were documented war crimes. When the war ended, many records were destroyed. And shockingly, several of the scientists were never punished. To this day, Unit 731 remains one of the most disturbing examples of science without humanity.
That's the dark truth behind the Flintstones, and it's just terrifying. In the 1970s, a team of archaeologists found something peculiar in the Nevada desert. Among the ruins, they discovered tools that looked ancient, but were made of materials far beyond modern technology, such as one club encrusted with circuits, and one wheel that emitted one slight radiation. Decades later, one blower revealed classified files, suggesting that the Flintstones were inspired by one undercover experiment. According to scientific archives, in the 1960s and 1970s, they feared that a nuclear war would end humanity. To prepare, they created underground cities designed to restart civilization. But there was one detail. The participants had to live like primitive humans, completely from technology to ensure survival if modern systems failed. However, something went terribly wrong. Records indicated conflicts between groups, bizarre mutations due to exposure to radiation, and a grim figure named Mr. Slate, who supposedly controlled all aspects of the experiment. The scariest detail, a rock unearthed at the site, captured a weak but chilling corner and lay repeated flap.
Scientists' terrifying discovery in the Philippines that changes everything. Now, honestly, I am excited to see this because changing everything is crazy, and on top of that, there is a lot of information that I do still need to know about the Philippines that a lot of you have actually linked over to me, and also this is definitely one of them. So, without further ado, come check this out with me, please. Let's go.
In the heart of Southeast Asia, the Philippines is a nation that captivates with its incredible diversity and captivating charm.
Absolutely.
With over 7,600 islands dotting its azure waters, it's a tropical paradise like no other.
And I gotta visit there.
From the world-renowned beaches to the lush mountain sceneries, the country's natural wonders are truly a sight to behold.
Absolutely.
In this country, karaoke rules as the ultimate pastime, and basketball courts can be found on almost every street corner.
Yeah, I seen them too.
With its rapid economic growth, it's being considered as one of the future economic powerhouse of Asia.
1,000,000%.
It also takes pride in being the sole Christian nation in Asia. Alongside the Christian majority, there exists a vibrant 4% Muslim minority, primarily concentrated in the southern islands of Mindanao. But in recent times, it has been grabbing world headlines due to its territorial dispute with the formidable nation of China. In fact, there are concerns that the small nation is situated in a potential flashpoint of a future world conflict.
Oh my.
Beyond the intricate geopolitics it grapples with, this beautiful country holds a treasure trove of archaeological discoveries that changed our understanding of human history.
Hold on.
Interestingly, the written history of the Philippine Islands originates from the arrival of the Spaniards. However, it should be noted that the country possessed its own history, culture, and literature before their arrival.
I had an entire video actually talking about that, how there were so many migrations that actually happened. Like, they have so many different, like, cultures in their blood. It's insane. The Philippines is so incredibly, like, diverse. Like, they are literally the world, bro.
Sadly, the religious fervor of the Spaniards led to the destruction of earlier records as much as possible. As a result, significant knowledge about pre-Spanish times, though there is still much to be revealed, relies on records from other countries that had connections with the islands. Thanks to the diligent excavation efforts of scientists, we have been able to uncover the country's rich history, surpassing even our highest expectations.
Oh my.
Let us dive into these remarkable findings that left the scientific community in awe.
The butchered rhino.
On the Philippines' northern island of Luzon, researchers have made an exciting find. They unearthed stone tools and rhinoceros bones that have been dated back to 709,000 years ago, an era long preceding the emergence of modern humans by hundreds of thousands of years. The discovery of the butchered rhino in the Philippines is undeniably one of the most significant and momentous findings, as it completely challenges our existing understanding of the history of human migration in Asia.
I love
Prior
history so
to this
much,
revelation, the consensus among most scientists was that the first humans arrived in the Philippines around 67,000 years ago. In the Cagayan Valley, an extensive excavation yielded the complete skeleton of a rhinoceros, accompanied by a collection of 57 stone tools.
Are there still many
Among the
rhinos
tools
still there,
were
or no?
49 sharp-edged flakes and 6 cores from which the flakes were crafted, along with 2 potential hammerstones. The rhino skeleton itself bore cut marks on 13 of its bones, and both of its humerus bones were intentionally cracked open, likely to provide feasting hunters access to its marrow. The presence of cut marks indicates that the ancient people possessed tools to remove flesh from the rhino meat.
It was all on purpose.
The presumption was that Homo erectus, the first hominin to venture out of Africa, was responsible for butchering the rhinoceros. However, this theory lacks conclusive evidence as no hominin fossils were found. Additionally, the manner in which ancient humans reached the island nation remains a puzzling question.
Yeah, like how would they get
The
there?
most plausible scenario suggests that they unintentionally arrived on natural floating rafts made of tangled mangroves, which could have broken away from mainland Asia during typhoons or tsunamis.
Oh my goodness.
An alternative, though less probable theory proposes the idea that they might have utilized primitive boats to journey to the islands.
Like them making that at that time though was crazy. But that's only a theory on that part.
In 2019, an astonishing find was made by scientists in the island nation, the Homo luzonensis, a long-lost cousin of modern humans. Fossils were found in Calao Cave, located on the island of Luzon. This remarkable discovery was the result of the collaborative efforts of an international team of archaeologists. The discovery's importance cannot be emphasized enough. It introduces increasing intricacy to the narrative of human evolution, challenging the once perceived straightforward progression. Instead, our ancestral lineage reveals an exuberant array of peculiar forms along its evolutionary journey. It also opens up the fascinating prospect that primitive human relatives might have traveled from Africa to Southeast Asia, challenging previously held assumptions about their migration capabilities.
A lot came from
The
Africa,
remains,
right?
comprising 13 elements such as teeth, hand and foot bones, along with a portion of a femur, are believed to represent at least 3 adult and juvenile individuals. Homo luzonensis, with an estimated age of at least 50,000 to 67,000 years, belongs to a distinct line of hominins that is separate from Homo sapiens. Homo luzonensis exhibits certain physical resemblances to modern humans, while other aspects harken back to ancient ancestors like the Australopithecines and early members of the Homo genus. Notably, the curved finger and toe bones imply that climbing remained a significant activity for this species, a characteristic shared with some Australopithecines. This leads us to an intriguing question. How did Homo luzonensis acquire this extraordinary combination of traits? Identifying its ancestor proves impossible at this stage. Clues emerge from stone tools and butchered rhino remains discovered on the island, suggesting the presence of ancient humans in Luzon over 700,000 years ago. However, without any actual bones from these ancient beings, whether they were Homo luzonensis or precursors to Homo luzonensis remains uncertain. Another intriguing aspect is that they coexisted with other hominin species during its time, such as Homo sapiens, Homo floresiensis, Neanderthals, and Denisovans. However, out of these 5 species, only Homo luzonensis managed to survive and thrive. This finding sheds new light on our evolutionary history and raises fascinating questions about the interactions and fates of these ancient hominin
That
groups.
is so insane. That's incredible to think about. all of these things that happen
You might not be familiar
made
with
today.
a plant that possesses the extraordinary ability to consume metal and absorb soil pollutants. It's not surprising, as this remarkable discovery is relatively recent in the realm of science and can only be found in a singular location on Earth, Philippines.
What?
This incredibly peculiar and potentially invaluable plant was found in May 2014. This metal-eating plant was named Rhinorrhea nickellifera. This plant possesses a remarkable ability to absorb nickel without succumbing to its toxic effects. This unique trait opens up promising possibilities for its application in remedying polluted soil,
Yeah, dude.
particularly in regions where nickel mining has caused environmental damage. Furthermore, the metal-eating plant presents a groundbreaking outlook on mining practices.
Things like
The
this, man.
conventional approach of digging up the earth for metals could be replaced by a more eco-friendly method, wherein humans plant hyperaccumulators and extract the metals from their leaves during the harvesting process.
I think it's just insane to even think about that concept and the fact that it's real, right? It's not even just a concept in itself. It's something that actually is real. A plant that's able to consume metal almost and basically can save like an environment that's kind of getting polluted, like he was mentioning. I think the idea of that is just crazy, and it's in the Philippines, of course. I feel like the Philippines is so like diverse in so many different things, whether it be islands and so many nature, very important things that people need to really take care of. And on top of that, things like this, discoveries like this, like you would have never ever known that this is possible until now. Like, this is crazy. I've never even heard of this.
Just envision the tremendous positive impact this could have on preserving our environment.
Oh my goodness.
However, a sobering reality accompanies this discovery. The metal-eating plant faces the looming threat of extinction, emphasizing the urgency to protect and preserve this exceptional botanical treasure.
Yeah.
Across the globe, ancient cave paintings have captivated our fascination, and the Philippines is no exception.
Yeah, these are incredible.
Boasting its own remarkable collection known as the Angono petroglyphs. This consists of over 120 engraved figures found on a rock wall in Angono, Rizal. These petroglyphs span most of the rock wall, measuring approximately 63 meters in width and 5 meters in height.
Think about what they were
Believed
thinking.
to have been part of a makeshift rock shelter used by ancient people, the site also yielded fragmented earthenware and stone tools.
Unbelievable.
Dating of the artifacts indicates that the rock shelter was utilized during the Neolithic age around 2500.
He went to check why the water wasn't running, and the reason why is horrifying. Late at night, Diego from TikTok had his water supply cut off. When he went to check the water meter, this happened.
No, yo no sé. El agua. Ay, sí, ¿Sí vio?
As he lifts the cover, he hears a growl and sees what looks like the face of a person. Is this the face of an unsettled spirit in that area, or is it something else?
We think knights were mere men in iron, but this armor hides a dark secret. An excavation beneath a ruined castle unearthed a pristine suit of plate. But when the rusted chest was opened, they found a technological nightmare. The armor was completely hollow, driven by a complex mechanical exoskeleton. If this machine fought in the Middle Ages, who was remote controlling it? Welcome to Chrono Archives.
Terrifyingly scary ancient discoveries. Here we go. The Black Sarcophagus. Archaeologists and scientists were very hesitant to open this, fearing there would be a worldwide curse. When they opened this, they found 3 skeletons, some ancient etched drawings, and worst of all, they found ancient old sewage. The drawings were done on gold, and they are still unclear what they mean. Some archaeologists believe that the one with the snake here shown in this photo is a warning sign that you shouldn't be going through the sarcophagus. They have been going through each and every bone, but they said that the smell is overwhelmingly toxic. They do know that there was 1 woman and 2 men buried in the sarcophagus. On one of the skeletons, they actually found a hole that was surgically done in the side of his head, meaning that he had some sort of ancient surgery performed on him before he died. The worst part is there are actually people around the world that want to drink this black sewage, thinking it's the fountain of youth. That's nasty.
they encountered strange larva-like creatures, partially petrified in ice, with what appeared to be enormous open mouths. They also found similar creatures to the ones discovered in the underground.
One thing for sure, I am not climbing down in no fucking tunnels and caverns to get lost and stuck underground. Not happening. Unless my life is in danger and I absolutely have to, not happening. Anybody in the OG community agree with me? Because I know y'all ain't climbing in no taverns, caverns, whatever, to fuck around and get lost or get ate by something.
In 2008, the brothers uploaded a video to YouTube showcasing their exploration in the northern mountains, where they seem to have interacted with these strange beings. Since the only evidence consists of a few screenshots, it remains unclear whether they were corpses or unknown living creatures. The brothers did not document this event any further, and the original video is lost on certain internet forums.
An underwater drone surveying deep waters near Fiji captured something no one was prepared to explain. A massive cliffside carved into the unmistakable shape of a human face, surrounded by structures that resemble a submerged city. The formations appear deliberate, with terraces, corridors, and straight edges that don't match known natural processes. Who or what built it? And how long has it been hidden beneath the ocean? Explorers off the coast of Norway made a chilling discovery after a drifting iceberg cracked open, revealing what appears to be a perfectly preserved humanoid sea creature frozen deep within the ice. With elongated limbs, strange facial features, and a body unlike any known marine animal. The find has reignited ancient legends of sea sirens, once thought to be pure myth. This drone shot just caught something way too big to ignore. Off these coastal cliffs, an enormous dark shape is seen gliding just under the surface, and when you compare it to the nearby boats, the size doesn't add up. Officials haven't confirmed what it was, but whatever swam through this channel wasn't a normal whale sighting. So the question is, what else is hiding right off our coasts? The Kraken is real. A deep-sea research camera has captured jaw-dropping footage of a 600-pound giant octopus, and viewers are already saying it proves the mythical ocean terror is real. In the video, enormous tentacles slide out of the darkness, wrapping briefly around the camera rig as a massive body comes into view. Far larger than any octopus ever documented. Marine biologists could hardly wrap their heads around this footage. What demonic ocean dweller is this? Fishermen in a tin boat off the coast of Nova Scotia were left frozen in terror after filming an unexplained sea creature stalking them in the dark. The water churns violently as the creature closes in, circling just feet away before slipping back into the Black Bay. The crew is convinced whatever followed them wasn't a shark and was deliberately hunting the boat. Breaking near the Bermuda Triangle, crew members on a cargo ship are filming something massive moving in circles just off the hull, and the water is literally being carved into a wake. In these shots, a long, ridged body breaks the surface in the fog, looping around the vessel like it's corralling it, while workers in hard hats freeze at the rail and aim cameras down into the churn.
Did you know that researchers found in a cave in Spain human remains mixed with like deer and horse meat as if they were systematically processed and eaten? It's actually a neck bone, like a vertebrae from a child about 2 to 4 years old that was so cleanly and precisely cut as if someone was intentionally cutting open an animal and then skinning it to eat it. Also in a cave in Spain, there was bodies found completely dismembered after death with no signs of struggle. Neanderthal remains were scattered, not chaotically, like heads were split and separated from arms and torsos, like post-mortem processing. The scary part of a lot of these is that archaeologists have found that cuts are clean, nothing looks rushed or panicked, everything looks precise and intentional. There was even a femur bone that was polished as if this, like, it was a tool. It was polished with the same material they would use to polish any other tool. Also, researchers have found in some sites during the Paleolithic period, there are human bite marks on bones, not gnawing like animals, and not like frantic, like ripping apart of flesh, but just an intentional bite on some human bones with this correct spacing and like the bite force of a person.
In August of 2011, Blake and 6 friends headed to his family's remote Wisconsin cabin for what should have been just a carefree weekend. However, only hours later, creeping dread began to take hold. But the true terror waited until 2 in the morning when he nearly came face to face with the unthinkable. In today's episode, I'm going to be telling you 3 eyewitness encounter stories that are going to make you rethink twice about ever going camping or hiking. You won't want to miss this one. On August 19th, 2011, around noon, Blake was loading camping gear into his pickup truck. It was a hot August day, and he kept having to wipe the sweat from his forehead as he packed everything up. And there were 7 people going on his camping trip. They were all heading to this piece of land that Blake's family had owned in Wisconsin. It was just a small cabin next to a lake, so nothing too fancy, but he just drove his pickup truck behind his older brother's SUV, and he would occasionally check his rearview mirror just to make sure all the camping gear he had loaded was still secure and none of it had fallen out. And so after hours of driving, Blake was ready to finally get out and just stretch his legs. They arrived at the property around closer to 3 in the afternoon and immediately began unloading everything. The cabin itself stood in the middle of the property, and it was a bit weathered but still fairly sturdy. It had been in their family for generations, but they didn't actually sleep in it. They mainly just used it for storage and as a shelter in case the weather got really bad. And everybody pitched in, carrying tents and coolers and sleeping bags from the vehicles to the campsite. Blake's older brother took charge and directed where each tent should be set up. And so finally, by about 4 or 4:30, they had pretty much everything ready. They had set up 4 tents in a semicircle facing the lake with a fire pit in the center. But because of the time of year, it was like 85 degrees outside, and Blake's older brother suggested they all go for a swim. And as you can imagine, the water felt absolutely incredible after all that work setting up the camp, and afterwards they just laid out on towels, just letting the sun dry them as they talked about random stuff that they had done that summer. Now, as evening approached, Blake's older brother started the campfire while he and his friends gathered more firewood nearby. And they did all the typical camp stuff, right? They cooked hot dogs and burgers on this portable grill that they had brought, and they passed around bags of chips and drinks. And as it got darker, they could finally see the stars beginning to appear in the sky overhead. And it gets to about 10:20 p.m. and they started making s'mores, and someone in the group suddenly just pointed upward. And there was this brilliant blue light, and it was actually streaking across the night sky, and it was so bright that it had the entire area lit up for like a second or two. And everybody just stopped mid-conversation to watch it until it faded from view. None of them were sure what it was, until Blake's older brother piped up and said that it was probably just a meteor. And everyone agreed, and it was pretty cool to have seen it. And after a little while longer of sitting by the fire, just lost in conversation, people began trailing off to bed one by one. Blake's younger brother was sitting across from him, close to his girlfriend, just talking quietly by the fire, and he was getting tired but wasn't quite ready for sleep yet. He turned to his girlfriend and was about to suggest they head to their tent for some privacy.
Darkest discoveries made by humans. The twin paradox.
Here's how it works. Let me get a pair of twins. They're born the same time, they're the same age. And now one of them I will send off at 90% the speed of light. And the other I'll keep down here on Earth. So we can ask, how do their aging rates compare? Okay? Turns out, this twin that I've already sent, his clock ticks 44% as fast as this twin's clock, our clock, here on Earth. So, this twin is aging more slowly than this one. That's at 90% the speed of light. Let's pump it up some more. How about 99% the speed of light? Now the time ticks at only 14% the rate, as it does back here on Earth. How about 99.9%? We're getting closer and closer to the speed of light itself. And at that speed, the clock ticks only 4.5% as fast. So, what does this mean? Tell you what it means. This twin that traveled for 5 years and comes back, if they went at 99.9% the speed of light, after 5 years, they're 5 years older. We have aged 110 years.
Florida hides something under the water, and almost nobody is talking about it. From space, the ocean looks completely normal, but the deeper we zoom, the stranger it gets. Right there, off the southern coast, perfect shapes start appearing on the ocean floor. At first I thought these were graves. Then I thought maybe underwater antennas, or some kind of abandoned experiment. But look closer. Why are they placed so evenly? Why does it look like an underwater cemetery? And why does nobody swim here? The deeper Google Street View goes, the more unsettling it becomes. Hundreds of strange structures, all standing alone in the sand, like something was planted here on purpose. But planted by who? And for what reason? Some people think it's a hidden research zone. Others believe it could be connected to marine experiments. And honestly, the way these things rise from the ocean floor, it feels like something you were never supposed to find. Look at the shapes, look at the spacing. So tell me in the comments, what do you think this place really is?
Look down. My God, that's the sky. Clouds are moving under us. It's like another world down there.
A man going through his late father's belongings recently discovered a VHS tape dated 1998. In the footage, his father can be heard in the background describing a hole he encountered. When he looks down into it, he does not see darkness. He sees the sky. The tape cuts off after only a few seconds. The location was never identified. Whether this represents evidence of hollow earth, a portal to another place and time, or an inverted atmospheric anomaly is unknown.
Darkest discoveries made by humans.
As far as we know, time only moves in one direction, forward. But if you could loop back to visit the universe at an earlier point in time, a famous paradox arises. What if you killed your grandfather when he was a child? Then your father or mother wouldn't have been born, so you wouldn't have been born, so you wouldn't have been able to go back in time to kill your grandfather in the first place. Paradox. The simplest resolution to the grandfather paradox is that when you go back in time, you're actually not going back into your own history, but to a copy, and everything you do there influences the new alternate future of that universe, not your own past. But that's boring because it just avoids the paradox. If what you do when you go back in time actually influences your own past, and the effects of your time travel do loop back to the present, future, past, no problem. Let's just follow the paradoxical timeline through beyond its paradoxical conclusion. You go back in time, kill your grandfather, thus you aren't born, so you can't go back in time, thus your grandfather isn't killed, thus you are born, so you go back in time and kill your grandfather, and so on. I'm showing this as a looping linear series of events, but really it's two entangled histories happening in parallel. Is that even possible? Well, I don't know about the time travel part, but subatomic particles regularly do multiple different things in parallel. It's called quantum superposition and is responsible for the weirdness of the double-slit experiment, many properties of atoms and molecules, fusion in the sun's core, and so on. So if the universe were to exist in a superposition of two states, your grandfather's alive and your grandfather is dead, then the natural result is a superposition of two states. You're born and able to go back in time to kill your grandfather, and you're not born. And the natural result of these is a superposition of two states. Your grandfather is dead and your grandfather is alive. And so, at least from a logical perspective, this looping timeline is entirely consistent and there's no paradox. And a similar paradox-free solution can be obtained by viewing the problem as a steady-state solution to a Markov chain, but I won't go into that here. Now, of course, nothing about these solutions to the grandfather paradox suggests that closed time loops are actually possible. In fact, some of the implications this kind of time loop have in the study of complexity theory seem to suggest that time loops, and thus time travel into the past, must be impossible. But the main point is sometimes we think a situation creates a paradox when it doesn't. And really the only paradox is how our thinking can be twisted enough to dream up time-traveling murderous grandsons, but not twisted enough to think about twisting time.
In today's video, a special episode, we are looking at footage that US police never wanted released to the public. Mutated creatures, deformed human remains, abandoned nuclear sites where cameras were shut off and reports were sealed. From Hanford to a drifting military ship off the coast of Florida, there are things still alive in places where nothing should exist anymore.
Look no further, look no further. Right here, OG community. This is where we got the dark mysteries at. I'm bringing it all to you guys. I'm going to cover everything on YouTube. You ain't going to have to go nowhere else but here. Dark mysteries ahead. Let's get back into it.
Stay until the end and answer this question for yourself. What has America been hiding all these years?
To kick off today's list, we start with a video sent to us by a man named Daniel R., who lives near the forests of southeastern Washington.
Daniel says he recorded this footage one winter afternoon while hunting near the Columbia River area. From a hillside, he saw nuclear security police and a U.S. military unit sealing off an empty field less than 15 miles from the Hanford Nuclear Reservation. Daniel says he first assumed it was an accident until the camera zoomed in. Lying on the ground was a massive creature with membrane wings, a long, pale body, and a shape eerily similar to what people traditionally call a dragon. He heard police ordering civilians to retreat due to radiation risk. The video ends as the military covers the creature with a tarp. And the thought that still haunts Daniel is this: if something like that exists here, how many other secret areas across the United States are hiding similar creatures?
I will be honest, if this were me in real life, I would have run the second this started.
This incident happened off the coast of Florida, near an area once used by the U.S. Navy for equipment testing and maintenance, not far from a coastal nuclear power plant that has since been shut down. The military ship shown in the clip was confirmed to have been abandoned for decades. No power, no crew, no activity. During a joint patrol between the Coast Guard and Port Security, a thermal drone was launched to inspect the ship after reports of signal interference in the area. That drone detected an abnormal heat source below deck, inside the engine compartment. That should not have been possible. The ship had no fuel and no power source. There was only one point of access, a broken round porthole. An officer moved closer and recorded inside. Then, from the black water below, a smooth, wet head slowly emerged. Its skin surface was covered in strange nodules resembling old injuries. Its black eyes did not blink, only stared through the shattered glass. The creature did not swim upward. It did not attack. It simply stayed there, releasing slow bubbles as it breathed. Then, without any warning, an engine that had been dead for years suddenly started on its own for exactly 5 seconds. The drone lights flickered. Communication was lost. The video corrupted. When the data was recovered, only a single frame remained. The creature's face staring directly into the camera through the broken glass. No official report ever explained the heat source. And since that incident, the ship has been completely restricted from access.
This case began in the most ordinary way. The kind of morning call nuclear police in the US handle all the time.
The incident occurred at a small poultry farm in central Georgia, not far from a support zone connected to Plant Vogtle Nuclear Power Station. Early that morning, while checking the coops, workers noticed an old chicken standing completely still for several minutes. That alone was strange, but what made them call local police was what stood next to it.
Did you know the government created human-animal hybrids, and one escaped? For decades, Plum Island Animal Disease Center claimed they only studied livestock diseases. But locals knew something was wrong when impossible creatures started washing up on beaches. Fish with human teeth, birds covered in mammalian fur instead of feathers, carcasses with hands that looked disturbingly human. Former employees whispered about high-security labs and animal screams unlike anything in nature. They described disposal protocols for failed experiments and creatures with internal organs arranged backwards. When the facility suddenly closed in 2014, bizarre animal sightings spiked across Long Island. Fishermen reported catching things that shouldn't exist. Multiple heads on single bodies. Anatomy that defied explanation. But here's the terrifying part nobody saw coming. Recently leaked documents revealed the truth. They successfully created a human-animal hybrid designed for biological warfare. During the final evacuation, it escaped. Tracking data shows it's been reproducing in the wild for 10 years now. So next time you see something strange wash up on a beach, remember Plum Island is still out there.
What if I told you the world you know is a lie, a masterfully crafted illusion designed to keep you trapped? Centuries ago, an explorer named Richard Constantine, a figure erased from history, emerged from the lands beyond the Great Frozen Barrier. These lands, ruled by the enigmatic Primordium families, extend far beyond the icy wall that surrounds the continents we now call Earth, or as they call it, the Inner Lands. When Richard first set his eyes on these untouched territories, he saw control. These 7 continents encircled by endless ice were the perfect stage to trap generations in a fabricated reality, disconnected from the true expanse of the world. Using ancient knowledge of celestial optics and an understanding of human perception that surpasses anything modern science can explain, Richard and his allies built a false sky. The ice wall, it became a southern pole, cleverly disguised as the edge of a spinning sphere. They didn't just rewrite maps, they rewrote reality. By convincing the inhabitants of the inner lands that the infinite lay above, they ensured no one would look outward, toward the ice wall and the truth it conceals. Generations have been born, lived, and died within this invisible prison, believing in a universe that doesn't exist. But don't worry, this is just a story, right? Or is it?
Heads up. A teddy bear that looks like it's wrapped in real human skin just turned up outside a California gas station. Deputies got the call around 2:30 p.m. on July 13th after someone spotted what they thought were human remains.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Teddy bear wrapped up in human remains in skin? How did that happen? That would lead me to believe it's a serial killer responsible for that. Is that one of his markers? Want people to know he take his skin off of people? That's crazy. Like, how do you find a teddy bear wrapped up with human flesh on it? And it had to be stitched? Who took the time to do something like that? Besides somebody that's crazy. That's why you gotta watch the people you live by.
Eyewitnesses say the bear's face looks stitched on and the whole thing is covered in skin-like patches. Coroner's office has it now for testing. No word yet on what it's actually made of. Online sleuths already found an Etsy listing for a near-identical human skin teddy labeled as fake gore art. So the hoax theory is gaining speed. Until the lab work comes back, the case stays open. The station reopened by 4:15 p.m. I'll keep you posted when we learn more. What's your take?
Scary Facts You Didn't Know, Part 45. In 2008, aspiring filmmaker Mark Twitchell rented a garage in Edmonton and transformed it into what he called a movie studio. But according to investigators, it was actually a trap. Obsessed with the TV show Dexter, Twitchell allegedly created fake dating profiles to lure men to the garage, where he planned to ambush them like the fictional serial killer he admired.
Hold up now. Dexter, that's my show. Any of y'all in the OG community watch Dexter? I done watched every season. Dexter, if you haven't watched it, it's definitely worth the watch. Even the old episodes, the Dexter in Miami, all the way up to the new joints. Watch them if you haven't seen it. But this dude trying to act like Dexter, no way. See, Dexter only killed bad people. This dude just out here trapping people and killing them. Oh, man. You're giving Dexter a bad name.
One man, John Brian Altinger, went there in October 2008 after believing he was meeting a woman from an online dating site. He was never seen alive again. After the murder, investigators discovered a disturbing document on Twitchell's computer titled SK Confessions, which described in chilling detail how a serial killer stalked victims online, attacked them in a garage, and disposed of their bodies. Prosecutors believed it wasn't fiction at all. It was essentially a blueprint for what had really happened. Even more disturbing, another victim had escaped just days earlier. Gilles Tétrault survived after a violent struggle inside the same garage, later becoming known as the one who got away. If he hadn't escaped, police may never have connected the garage to Altinger's disappearance until far later. In 1996, just months after divorcing Charles III, Diana, Princess of Wales, reportedly handed a handwritten note to her former butler, saying she feared someone was plotting to kill her in a staged car accident. In the note, Diana claimed the plan would involve brake failure and a serious head injury, so another marriage could happen without scandal. Less than a year later, on August 31st, 1997, Diana was riding through Paris with Dodi Fayed when their car sped into the Pont de l'Alma tunnel while being chased by paparazzi. The Mercedes slammed into a concrete pillar at devastating speed. Dodi and the driver died instantly. Diana was still alive when rescuers reached the wreckage, but she later died at the hospital from massive internal injuries.
You can't fake that. I mean, I don't need to be a forensics expert to say that if that's a real image, there's no way that that's fake.
A guy named Manuel Caceres made wooden figurines that he glued together, dedicated to the Nazca mummies, to sell to tourists. These little trinkets, pieces of touristic art, meant to resemble the real mummies. These were confiscated at the Lima airport in 2023.
I repeat, that one is fake. It's craftsmanship, constructed, built.
In early 2024, Reuters published this about the Nazca mummies. They're not extraterrestrials. They're dolls made from animal bones from this planet, joined together with modern synthetic glue, said Flavio Estrada. But that ridiculous conflation between these wooden figurines and these real anatomically consistent whole bodies was reported on by Reuters and other esteemed legacy publications. And it's the sole reason so many people in the Western world are so sure this story is fake.
10 Darkest Secrets of Human Survival in Biology. The Donner Party survivors stayed alive by eating the frozen remains of their own family members. A rat king is a nightmare where dozens of rats have their tails knotted together until they become a single mass. There are ghost ships drifting in the ocean right now, filled with nothing but skeletons and dust. Your brain has a kill switch that can shut down your entire body instantly if the pain becomes too much. Cannibalism can lead to kuru, a disease that makes you laugh uncontrollably until your brain turns to sponge. The Human Skin Library in Harvard contains real books bound in the skin of deceased psychiatric patients. Some parasites can live inside your heart for decades, slowly replacing your muscle with their own eggs. In total darkness, your eyes will begin to hallucinate terrifying monsters because the brain panics for light. The coffin birth phenomenon occurs when gases inside a deceased mother force the fetus to be expelled. There is a 1 in 3 chance that a dormant predator is watching you from a distance at this very moment. One of these facts is about you. Can you guess which one?
The creepiest discoveries made by scientists that weren't meant to be seen. In 1951, doctors at Johns Hopkins in Baltimore took cells from Henrietta Lacks without telling her. Those cells never stopped dividing. They became the first immortal human cell line, used in over 75,000 studies. Her family had no idea for 20 years. Today, it remains one of the biggest ethics cases in American medicine. In 1986, a crew near Lake Nyos in Cameroon released a trapped cloud of carbon dioxide from beneath the water. The invisible gas rolled through villages at night, killing over 1,700 silently. Most Americans never heard of it, but the U.S. Geological Survey listed it as one of the deadliest gas events on record. In 1994, explorers in France crawled into Chauvet Cave and found paintings over 30,000 years old. Scientists refused to believe the dates. If a cave like this turned up in the U.S., it would be a national landmark overnight. France sealed it for good. A rock slide had blocked the entrance for 20,000 years, meaning no eyes were meant to see those walls again. Would you look, yes or no?
Dark facts about human history. The deadliest war in history killed over 70 million people. Ancient Romans watched humans fight animals for entertainment. Some ancient rulers buried their servants alive beside them after death. Early surgery was performed without anesthesia while patients stayed awake.
So you're saying Antarctica wasn't always frozen?
There's a massive hole in Antarctica. You can see it on Google Earth and about 30 meters wide. But here's the weird part. Around that hole, there are bases, research stations. And each base, it's named after a different country. Every major nation has a presence there. They're all studying whatever's in that hole. But that's not even the craziest part. About, I'd say, 15 to 30 miles behind that hole, there's a gigantic pyramid. I'm talking massive. Way bigger than the ones in Egypt. You can see its complete apex. It's been featured on the History Channel, Ancient Aliens. It's not a secret. It's just there. Now, how did a pyramid get in Antarctica? No sand, no tools, just ice. Well, Antarctica wasn't always frozen. That continent, it shifted. The Earth's crust slipped, moved the landmass all the way to the South Pole during a pole shift. Rapid, violent. And here's the scientific proof. As the ice melts thanks to global warming, they're finding animals buried in the ice, perfectly preserved. And when they dissect them, undigested food, still in their stomachs. You know what that means?
They froze instantly?
Exactly. Flash frozen. Something catastrophic happened. Fast. And nobody's talking about it.
You guys are not ready for what he is about to tell you.
Great TikTok because like shit is getting real now. We found this like little pond that's like north of an arroyo, and this thing is filled with kids' backpacks.
Like filled with backpacks.
And there's like if you dig down,
it's like
there's backpacks. There's little kids' backpacks here.
Don't be too loud.
Like, there are kids' fucking backpacks here. So we just hit a point where we found like our 5th backpack or bag after finding that boot. And yeah, we're done. We're gonna head back to the property.
I strongly suggest that you go over to his page and go down the rabbit hole a little bit, but the TLDR is that he has found some horrific things on his property, specifically a human femur bone, that of a child, that was sawed in half. From what I understand, the local law enforcement has been taking it seriously, but once they contacted the FBI, they shut him down. And now, as far as I understand, they are threatening to take his property away. And really, how much more evil can you get? These are children. These are children that are being brought over here for God knows what, and nobody in positions of power seems to care. So if you guys think the government cares about you, I got a bridge to sell you. I wish nothing but the best for this gentleman and his family. Hopefully everything works out.
Dark things humans never meant to know.
They came out with a map of Doomsday that looks like this. But this shot is of America. This lady, her name is Peggy Bolton. She did some really fun research regarding the Doomsday map. She compared with what this map looked like to the land that Bill Gates has been buying. All the farmland. Because he is the majority farmland owner in the United States right now. She took the map of the farmland that he owns and overlaid it onto this doomsday map. Every single dry land piece was occupied by his farmland, including in California. So California is basically completely underwater, but there's these little pockets of islands. She, like that compared to Zuckerberg, because on this doomsday map, Hawaii is completely fine. And she talked about how Jeff Bezos is also buying up farmland around the US. That all correlates with like these high points in America, and it's like super creepy.
Thank you guys for sticking with me through another banger. I appreciate all the love and support you guys show. Until the next video, peace and love.